Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Nexus Mods might be in trouble. As of early this week, Dark One has decided to step down from Nexus Mods. This is the original creator of Nexus Mods, and after 24 years of running the site, he has stated that the time has come for me to step back from the day-to-day management of the site. This isn't a decision I've made lightly, far from it, but one I think is in my and my community's best interests. Now, this is an update that was posted as of June 16th. I'll link that in the description below. But essentially, it goes on to state that he started this project back in 2001 as a way to preserve mods, which is exactly what the Nexus Mod site is. But what the new changes are now is that it is being bought by a company called Chosen. Now, this is where things get a little worrisome, and they have provided a response, which we'll go through later on in this video. But this company specifically is focused on growth and monetization of gaming startups. So a lot of people on Reddit were pretty alarmed by this, thinking, oh, we better start downloading every single mod we possibly can from Nexus Mods before they start taking ownership and making us pay for mods in the future. Which, not to say that's going to be a bad idea to do. I download quite a few of my mods. I've got probably about a 2 terabyte archive of some of the mods that I download using Wabbajack. However, luckily for the community, they have provided a response to some of the concerns that are around this acquisition. So in the response to that link that I put down in the description, the first question here is, will you sell mods? And they say no, mods will always remain free. Will it cost money to download mods? No, nothing changes here. Will you claim ownership of mods uploaded to Nexus Mods? Absolutely not. Mods belong to creators who create them. No changes will be made. What additional monetization will be added / changed to the site? Monetization is hard, and Nexus Mods is a complex platform. What matters most is continuing support of mod authors, delight users, and keep the lights on. We're not changing the core model. No aggressive monetization, no paid mods. If anything, we're aiming for fewer ads, not more. We'll take a community first, listen approach, and we will compromise on what's made Nexus Mods so special. This one is an interesting one, because the first part of it is already kind of alarming, where they say monetization is hard. And also, you have to keep in mind that they've bought this site. We're not really sure for how much or what kind of profits they plan to make off of the site in the future, but minimizing ads and saying that there will be no future monetization and that nothing's going to change, I think we should still take this with a grain of salt. And I would still highly recommend that if you guys have some favorite mods that you like on Nexus Mods, it doesn't matter if it's Skyrim, Fallout, Cyberpunk, whatever, I would highly recommend making backups, because we all know what happens when a company takes over a platform and their main goal is to make money. Well, things are going to change no matter what, even if they say they aren't going to change. Now, let's hope that's not the case. Maybe it'll just remain the same as it is. But we still have to proceed with caution and just hope that things just go along smoothly as it is. So moving on here, will you revoke lifetime premium? No, lifetime is still lifetime. What restrictions are going to be placed on free accounts? Free accounts stay as they are. Will Robin's hand on approach be lost? Robin's legacy remains. He will continue to be involved and help guide the overall direction of the platform. So it does sound like Robin, otherwise known as Dark One, creator of Nexus Mods, will still be involved. It's my understanding he'll still be providing comments and hanging around Discord and whatnot, and still trying to keep involved in the modding scene. He's just stepping back from trying to run this massive site. So like I said, hopefully things don't change and hopefully everything remains the same, but we gotta remain cautious. So moving on here, you won't understand the community's needs? Question mark. That's kind of a weird question, but I think they're essentially saying, how would you know what the community needs if you haven't been involved in the modding community prior? So this says, the Nexus Mods you see today is built by 40 incredibly talented and dedicated people. We're listening to them, learning fast, and here to support what's already working. So, okay, it sounds like they're just trying to lean on the support of some of the existing team to keep the site running. So this is kind of a follow-up question to that. You have never made a Skyrim mod. How can you possibly understand us? True, we haven't, but neither did Robin, and he built something amazing. We're here to listen, learn, and support the people who do, the mod authors and players. That's how we move forward and together. You didn't mention Chosen in the post, why not? This wasn't a post about Chosen, it was about Robin and the legacy he built over 24 years. We're the new owners and the ultimate decision makers at Nexus Mods. We'll share more about ourselves when we've earned that right. For now, we're focusing on listening, learning, and making mods even easier. And yes, you'll see us around in the community being active. Trust takes time. We're committed to putting control back in the hands of creators, players, and communities. We'll get back to building now. So overall, we can relax a little bit, but like I said, probably 3 or 4 times now, I would just highly recommend just downloading the mods you like. We don't need to necessarily download the entire site, and I'm sure there are people working on doing that right now as we speak in subs like Reddit on data hoarders. And there are also alternatives to other mod sites, and hopefully those will end up growing as well so that we have another backup and maybe an area where people can dual host their mods on both sites, such as ModDB or Mod Database. Now, unfortunately, a site like Mod Database is not as aesthetically appealing as Nexus Mods, but it is at least an alternative just in case Nexus does go in the wrong direction. And some practical advice for modders as well as users like us: archive your work. Keep local copies of any mod you host exclusively on Nexus, mirror key files on GitHub, ModDB, as I stated earlier, or your own Google Drive. We'll have to keep an eye on the terms of service, API documentation, pricing for premium, as well as third-party ad injection. And last but not least, want to let everyone know, don't panic. Chosen still has a chance to earn our goodwill, so we'll give it a few more months and then reevaluate. So anyway, that'll do it for this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this entire acquisition. Should we be worried, or is everyone blowing this whole situation out of proportion? I do a lot of videos on mod list testing, as well as some PC optimizations to try to get some of our games running a little more smoothly. So if any of that kind of content interests you, consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, have a wonderful day.